I am Kiara, aka the Chic Mom, and today's video we are going to get into this thing called motherhood. Everything that they don't tell you about motherhood. So let's get into it. So basically I wanted to kind of get into mostly being a new mother. I wanted to also discuss breastfeeding, and I also wanted to discuss just like different things that you don't expect as a new mother. So first off, when you get home, let's talk about postpartum. Postpartum is definitely something that I knew nothing about. When you get home from the hospital, you are, sorry, I'm watching Kylie on the baby monitor. When you get home, you are in excruciating pain. I know for me, my birthing experience was super easy. When you get home, you have this baby that you are responsible for now. And you also have yourself to take care of because you just had a baby. Whether you had a C-section or you had a vaginal delivery, you are recovering. And I know that me personally, my recovery, my birth, I hate to be that person, but they were really easy. And I really can't say too much about pain, but I can say that they did offer me loads of medicine because they're like, you're gonna be in pain. You're gonna be in pain, trust me, you're gonna be in pain. I'm like, I didn't really have any. I had lots of soreness, as far as like excruciating pain that I just had to drug up on. I didn't have it. But yeah, so they give you loads of medicine. They give you these pads that have like witch hazel and a couple different other ingredients to put on the maxi pad for the postpartum bleeding. And the pad is like literally the size of a diaper. I'm going to show you. This is her diaper. This is how big the pad is, and it's pretty thick, and you're going to put it on a pair of, bless you, you're going to put it on a pair of mesh panties. And or if you choose to go buy your own, either way, it's going to be on a pair of panties that I would suggest you don't care about because it's going to be a mess. So with that being said, you put those things on the pad itself, and it's about 3 of them, and they're like circles, so I would put about 3 of them on there. And they also gave me like a spray for postpartum that helps numb the pain down there. I would spray that on the pad as well, along with the liquid and the, I don't even know the name of that thing. It's like that clear thing. It's like a clear thing. I will attach a picture of it. I think it's called like a douche. And some cleaning solution, and you use that every time you go to the bathroom. For me, I had stitches. Once again, I did not feel them. Didn't even know I had stitches other than them telling me. And that's about it for the postpartum. Breastfeeding, the first few weeks was a headache. It was a roller coaster. It was terrifying, and it also was intimidating. Me personally, I had no education on breastfeeding. I had no idea what I was doing. Right. I had no idea what I was doing as far as breastfeeding. So when it came down to it, I was doing as much as I could with as much knowledge as I could. Of course, you have Google, and different resources that I did not know about at first. I came across a couple lactation consultants. They definitely helped me on my journey. So I highly suggest, if you're feeling, defeated by breastfeeding, or even just wanting to know more about breastfeeding in general, find a lactation consultant. I'm sure your insurance covers it. If not, there's midwives, and there's just people like me who speak on their experience, can give you advice from their experience. But yeah, my lactation consultants, I had 2 different lactation consultants, and they were amazing. They helped me through breastfeeding at the beginning because I was discouraged. I felt like I wasn't making enough milk. It hurt. All she did was cry. It was like absurd how hard breastfeeding was at the beginning. And I am 8 months deep, so I'm not discouraging anyone to breastfeed, but breastfeeding is tough. And you have to, I wish I would have prepared myself more for breastfeeding, and I wish I would have kind of like known like, hey, it's gonna get tough. It's not gonna just be put a boob in the baby's mouth and call it a day. It's not like that at all. So breastfeeding in general is tough. The beginning is the hardest part. I would say what you would need for breastfeeding at the beginning is nipple cream, and lots of it. I still use it when I'm on my menstrual, which I started about 2 months ago, 2 months postpartum, so about 6 months, because I eat less. You still need nipple cream because those things get sore and tender. So I would just say keep it handy. This nipple cream in particular, it's called Boobsease. It's organic nipple balm. It was amazing. Like absolutely amazing for sore, cracked, bleeding nipples. Yeah, I said wrong, not cut right. Sore, cracked, and bleeding nipples. And I got a lot of these from Lancinol, and I actually, I got a lot of them, so I haven't even used some of them. But you're definitely gonna need nipple pads, and I'll just show you guys. So these are amazing. They're like pads in general. You just put them in your bra, and it catches the extra milk from leaking. I remember my first time, I think I went to, because I had her in January, and I went to just go get food because I needed a walk, or her dad watched her, and literally I heard a baby crying, and I think it's called Burgess 7, and I heard a baby crying, and my boobs just started leaking like crazy, and I didn't have any nipple pads on. And yeah, so luckily I had a jean jacket on and I could kind of cover it up, but they were literally like leaking. So I highly suggest keeping these in a diaper bag, or even in your personal bag if you know you're going to be away from your baby. Let's see what else. So breastfeeding supplements, a big, huge thing in my breastfeeding journey. You need to establish your breast milk. At this point in my breastfeeding journey, I have established my supply. At the beginning, you have to establish a supply. You have to pump a lot. You have to do a lot of feedings, and sometimes you need that extra push for your milk. And I feel like mother's milk tea was amazing for me. It was natural, and it was actually pretty tasty, and I love tea in general, so it wasn't hard for me to drink it. Just add a little honey into it, and this bad boy here, mother's milk tea, really got me my supply built. And you don't feel bad about it, because I know me, I was super paranoid about giving my baby anything through my breast milk. Bless you. I was super nervous about just trying different supplements and different things, because I know it can affect her through my breast milk. but Mother's Milk is organic, is all natural. I use the Munchkin brand, and it really helped my supply, and I noticed the difference. Another thing I will say is I tried the emergency brownies from Milky Mamas, I think it's called, Milky Moms. I didn't notice a difference in my supply, but you may. I will link a couple different vendors for lactation cookies and brownies, and even a link from Mother's Milk for you guys to try them if you are nursing. Supplementing is the way to go. Water is your best friend. Honestly, if you cannot afford to add on these things, I totally get it. Your most important thing to do is drink water. Lots of water, and stay hydrated. I can't stress that enough. It's been days where I haven't gotten a chance to drink any water at all, and I get no milk. And so those days don't happen often because I need to pump. Drinking water is so important. Also, pumping. So pumping was a thing that was really hard for me at the beginning because it was painful, and I didn't like the pump that I was using. I was using the Amita pump through my insurance, and I hated it. It was super painful. The suction was terrible for me. I just did not like it at all. I would suggest that you try a pump and you try the Haakka. The Haakka saved my supply. The Haakka created my supply, and those times where as a newborn she would not let me get a chance to pump. She would not let me put her down. That was my biggest struggle with pumping, other than it being painful. It's her not letting me get a chance to pump. I would never get a chance to pump, and that really does, it really does affect your supply, your milk supply. So once I got a chance to do some research and watch YouTube videos, I found the Haakka. The Haakka pump, or any silicone manual breast pump, works. When I tell you, this thing is like God sent. I could pump on one breast, and it collects the milk that that leaks from your breast while you're feeding your baby. Literally, you just attach it onto your boob and the milk starts to flow as you're feeding your baby. And it doesn't take up a lot of room. It doesn't take too much. It takes about 1 minute to put on your boob, if that, 30 seconds. And it's on, and you're collecting milk. Even if it's an ounce. Those ounces at every feeding, they add up. And that's how I began to create my supply, through the Haakka pump. I would get an ounce, sometimes I would get half an ounce, but I would collect those and I would put them in the little milk savers and put them in the fridge and create a bottle. After that point, I would say about, maybe when she was 2 months, she would give me a little more time to pump. I could put her in a jumper, or I could put her in a rocking chair or a swing and occupy her for at least 15 minutes, and I would pump. Then I would get a little more milk, and I started to establish my supply. So with that, Haakka, I could never get over how grateful I am that I was able to find that product, because I probably, honestly, I don't know if I would have continued to breastfeed if I didn't find the Haakka, because I couldn't supply milk on my own with a pump, if that makes sense. I couldn't pump regularly, and it was painful for me. So the Haakka worked perfectly, but afterwards, I was able to order the Spectra, and hopefully I'm able to make a video on specific breast pumps and breastfeeding 101, I guess, because I don't want to, make this video super long. Say hi. Hi. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and there is way more content to come soon about motherhood and all things mommy, so please subscribe and stay tuned for more videos.